What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we are jumping into our free comics book day Suicide Squad King Shark Special Edition, giving us a little bit of a glimpse into Suicide Squad Get Joker. Now, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the current Suicide Squad line, go ahead and check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on in the Infinite Frontier Suicide Squad. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in Bloodhaven. This is Bloodhaven in the past, and currently we have Defacer, who is defacing a statue of Nightwing, believing Nightwing never called him back, never wanted to have a relationship, and was kind of trying to blow her off. This is her way of getting back at Nightwing. And while I'll say that's definitely a little bit extreme to go and vandalize things of this nature to try to get your point across, we've all been there. We've all had that emotional state where we just want to go spray paint the crap out of their car or their house because we're just so upset at how they did us wrong. But that's what's going to take us to Belle Reve. And currently she is having a group therapy with Harley Quinn, Hot Take, and a couple of other individuals. And while she's in this therapy, she lets it be known that she only vandalized this because she was hurt, not knowing that he'd been shot in the head and he was having a lot of big issues. She definitely acted without knowing. But because she was on parole for having large-scale vandalism, the judge came down super hard on her and ended up landing her in this prison with freaking supervillains. And even Hot Take thinks this is hilarious. Like, at the end of the day, you just graffiti things. Like, how are you a supervillain? Why would you even be put in this place? And of course, Defacer has a little one-liner to sling back, and this is where we see some animosity build up. And Hot Take is ready to dish out some fighting. And as things are getting hot and heavy, as things are about to break out in there, Harley Quinn puts into operation the restraints that keep her under control. Now, while she's under control, this is when Defacer takes an opportunity to lick some punches in, kind of hitting somebody while they're down, but Harley Quinn, she admires this, because it's exactly what Harley Quinn would do. And while all that is transpiring, King Shark is on the outside just listening to all of this happen, letting him know that he does smell some blood. And so to de-escalate things, Harley Quinn sends Defacer to lunch. Because at this place, you know, lunch is really worse than a freaking death sentence because that's how bad the freaking food is here. But as Defacer grabs her tray and she goes and sits down, this is where she's met with somebody that is a resident here. This is where she's met with King Shark. And King Shark tells her, you know, you went into a frenzy, much like a shark would do, but you can control that if you want. And she's never met King Shark before. She never met somebody like this before, so she's really thrown off. She's very uncomfortable. She gets up and walks away and tells him, like, I don't really need any help or advice from a great white shark. And to further that, she's not really a big animal person. She grew up in the city. She grew up with stones and streets. So the wild kingdom to her, that's outside of her realm of comfort, if you will. And as she goes to walk away, one of King Shark's fish, they look up at him and tell him that it is time. And this sends him into a furious rage, sending his food flying in every direction. Whatever this fish is trying to tell him, he is not happy about it. And that is what's going to pick us up with Defacer, currently in the bathroom, washing her hands and looking in the mirror. This is where she's met by Hot Take, because this is the one place where Hot Take has the opportunity to use her powers. The one place where her power dampeners are deactivated. And this gives her just the opportunity to enact some revenge upon Defacer. And this fight breaks out super quick. We see Hot Take slam her fist straight into the face of Defacer. And Defacer is absolutely in a state of panic. Not having any superpowers, not knowing what to freaking do here. She's really worried that she is about to die here. But in that moment, this is where we see blood splatter all over the place. And as Defacer looks up, that is where Defacer sees King Shark. King Shark simply saying that he didn't eat lunch. But it really looks like King Shark came to Defacer's protection, came to help her out. And that's what's going to bring us to the room of Amanda Waller. In the office of Amanda Waller, Defacer is doing her best to try to defend herself and let them know that she had no indication that King Shark was going to do that. She didn't start that fight. She didn't want King Shark to eat anybody. It was all just coincidence. But that's not why she is here. She is here because of King Shark's newfound fondness for her. Amanda Waller asking what Defacer actually knows about King Shark. Defacer doesn't know much besides the basic stuff you see on the news. You know, fighting with Aquaman, fighting with Superboy, eventually getting captured and having to join the Suicide Squad. And Amanda Waller has a special mission for Defacer, because Waller has made a deal with King Shark's father. And this deal is that he can come back and visit every once in a while, and as long as he's allowed to do that, Amanda Waller can keep him captive as long as she pleases. But because of who he is, she can't just plant a bomb into his head. She can't just kill him to ensure that he comes back. And so she needs some kind of assurance. And the insurance she's going to use is Defacer. Because King Shark has found some kind of new fondness with her. He is really, taken a liking to Defacer. And because of this, Amanda Waller is going to use this to her advantage. She is going to send Defacer with King Shark back to his people. But she is going to have the bomb in her head. And so if he doesn't return, she is going to be the one that is terminated. And the reason Amanda Waller knows this is because Amanda Waller, she has a do not eat inmates very strict rule. And for King Shark to go against that rule means that he really does care in some regards for Defacer, to be able to disobey Waller knowing what could possibly happen. And so without wasting any time, they send these two out on this mission. Dropping them into the ocean, they sit here and they wait for the arrival of who is to come. And we see Defacer, she's starting to panic. She's flailing a lot, and King Shark tells her, you need to stop doing that, or my kin are going to see you as food. They're going to see you as a little seal. When I arrive, they kind of get into a frenzy, and we don't want an accident happening. So the best thing for you to do in this point in time is to remain as calm as possible. And he lets her know that they are waiting on his father, the god of all sharks, making him more or less a Jesus Christ figure in the shark realm. And King Shark, he really wants to get this over with. Everything that his father is going to want from him, he wants to get it done and over with before anybody tries to eat Defacer. But his father lets him know that the challenge that lies ahead, it really depends on him being in peak performance. And so there must be a test to ensure that his kingdom is properly represented in the wild games. And trying to tell his father that he doesn't believe he needs to be tested, that he doesn't need anybody to go against him, we see his father scream silence and push everybody back. Because the thing is, his father has him with Waller to try to kind of teach him some respect, to kind of put him in his place. Because if he hasn't learned some kind of respect while being under the reign of Waller, then it's all the more reason for him to doubt his ability to represent them in the wild games. Because as it stands, there are many that say that their people are no longer the apex predators of the ocean. And because of this, he has these games going on and has any challenger that wants to challenge them come forward. And that includes anything outside of their realm and outside of their species. And so for his test, for his first trial, he is going to have to go against Orca. And this is where we see her jump out of the water, grabbing King Shark by the throat, and it looks like the fight is about to begin. Now, that will end that part of the issue, and this is where we jump into Suicide Squad Get Joker. And it's a relatively short kind of prequel to what we're gonna get. But what we're getting is Jason Todd. And Jason Todd talking about how he was Robin. He was under Batman's reign. He was going with him for such a long time. But then one day, Robin dies. The Joker kills him, bashes his face in with a freaking crowbar. And with that, he was thought to be dead. A funeral was had. His body was carried by Batman himself. But then he was alive. He was alive and going by the name of Red Hood, taking vigilantism into his own hands, dealing death the way that he believes Batman should have been doing the entire time. How he should have taken out Joker from the very freaking get-go and avoided everything that happened after. And so we see the Red Hood become who he is. We see the Red Hood become the character we so much love in DC Comics. But it shows us our Red Hood getting captured, the police beating the crap out of him, and him ended up going to jail. And after getting in a handful of fights, they end up sending him to Bellerive. And though the fights don't stop here, there's just no guards to protect anybody. And so Jason Todd, he's having it rough. He's in a place where him and his father put a lot of these people away. Now, many of them only know him as Red Hood. But Red Hood still, he wreaked a lot of damage. He hurt a lot of people. And so there are a lot of people that want to see him, maybe not dead, but they want to see him hurting. They want to see him suffering day after day. And of course, being at Bellerive, it was only a matter of time before she came, before Amanda Waller shows up. And we see Amanda Waller. She shows up and offers him a deal. She wants him to join the Suicide Squad, because at the end of the day, he has the skills, he has the abilities to be able to lead the Suicide Squad, to be able to get this mission done, because this mission has huge importance. Because the mission she wants him to do is to hunt down the Joker. Now, she knows who Red Hood is. In fact, she even knows that he is the Boy Wonder. Though she doesn't explicitly say it, she just hints at it, letting him know that she knows, saying that he can earn time off of his sentence. Eventually, if he does enough missions, he could just not return to this place. But this is an opportunity for him to kill the person that killed him. It's an opportunity to kill the person or capture the person that murdered him. And at first, he doesn't want to do this. He tells her no, that he's not interested. But after some time, sitting here alone in the dark with his thoughts and nothing but the thought of revenge, the opportunity to capture, bring in the man who murdered him with a crowbar, he asks Amanda Waller who is going to be on his team. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think the Suicide Squad King Shark issue is really interesting. It seems like a lot of fun. I'm really excited to dive into it and see what they have to show. Because let's all be honest, King Shark was one of the best things to come out of James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And I think they're really banking on that success here. Now, with the Suicide Squad Get Joker, I'm really looking forward to that. Seeing Red Hood on the Suicide Squad is going to be a very interesting turn of events. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he interacts with the rest of the Suicide Squad, to include Peacemaker and a few other individuals. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.